What's going on, guys, and welcome to Stateside Footy. I am your boy, Steve, and of course, it is the MLS live stream. An absolute banger of a match tonight as the Chicago Fire play host to Nashville SC. And God damn it, this is going to be a fantastic game tonight as Nashville SC, by the way, which is my pick for MLS Cup this year. Quite honestly, currently, what I feel is the best team in Major League Soccer right now, takes on a very good, very improved Chicago Fire team. Both of them, obviously, head coaches, formerly of the U.S. men's national team, and everything that surrounds this matchup tonight. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I just feel like there's good vibes. And of course, we are going to begin coverage in just a second, but I do would like to ask you to please hit that like and subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming Stateside Footy content. All right, let's go ahead and get into it because, like I just said just a second ago, I do feel that Nashville SC currently are the best team in Major League Soccer, East or Western Conference. Me personally, I think that they also, possess the league's best striker in Sam Surridge. I also would probably be remiss if I didn't say they probably also have one of the best forwards in the league in Heine Mukhtar as well too. This team is absolutely clicking when it comes to the attack. And of course, it isn't the only competition that this team is playing in. Currently in the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Champions League, where they are set to take on Club America. And of course, that also is going to be a phenomenal two-leg as well too. And so from that standpoint, everything seems to be rolling when it comes to Nashville SC. For the Chicago Fire, you know what? I will say this, that, for as much shit as a guy like Greg Berhalter takes, he has certainly organized this team. Excuse me. He has certainly got this team very much organized. Compared to where they were when he took over and compared to where they are now, they are night and day better. When you talk about their attack, man, don't get me wrong, not a lot of household names. And so far, the goals are kind of a little bit inconsistent. But that being said, man, they have excellent players. From the likes of Jonathan Bamba. They also have, they also brought in a guy like Robin Lod from Minnesota. And their back line, not exactly the worst back line in the league. That being said, there still is some chemistry issues to try to gel that back line. And of course, they have U.S. men's national team goalkeeper Chris Brady back there as well too. And so for that standpoint, it's a solid team, currently sitting 5th in the Eastern Conference. Not exactly the greatest start to the season, but that being said, when you're currently sitting 5th, it's from that standpoint, the only way to go is up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups tonight for the Chicago Fire. And Greg Berhalter has them lined up in a 4-3-3. And as I mentioned earlier, let me go ahead and give you that in just a second. Come on now. God damn it. Let me just say this. There we go. Technology, man. There we go. There we go. All right. Anyway, we'll get to it in just a second. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, Chris Brady will be in net for Chicago. A back four of Gutman, Mbokazi, Waterman, and Barroso. A midfield three of Robin Lod, Salistros, and Davila. And then the attacking three of Bamba on the left, Zickernagel on the right, and Haile Selassie as the 10. For Nashville, let's go ahead and pull this up real quick. For Nashville SC, they are also going to be lined up in a 4-3-3. And of course, in net today will be Shawake, a back four of Nahar, Palacios, Waledzi, and Lovitz, a midfield three of Corcoran, Tagseth on the left, and Mule in the middle, and then of course an attacking three of Espinosa, Mukhtar, and Sammy Surridge, and of course Surridge, who, me personally, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I would probably say as of right now, they are, at least for me, he is my choice for MLS MVP at the current time frame. There's just something about Sammy Surridge that I absolutely like, and why can't I? So from that standpoint, let's see if I can switch this up real quick, because this is actually kind of pissing me off now. All right. There we go. Let's see if I can do this way. Jesus. All right, let's see if I can do it this way, because this is now pissing me off. I do apologize, guys. That's not it. All right, let's see if that works. Good Lord, man. I should be able to. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, all right. So let's go. Let's take a look at it in the chat. Dan Davenport 6902 says, "Hello, Steve. Arsenal is out of the FA Cup." Yeah, I saw that, man. And that was absolutely brilliant, by the way. That was absolutely brilliant. The interesting thing about that is that I'm not wholly surprised by that, but what I will say is that the funny thing is, a good buddy of mine actually texted me about Liverpool, and from that standpoint, they got their asses handed to, and I wholly wasn't. I wasn't exactly surprised by that. We are actually getting very close to the start of this one. And we are pulling this one up. All right. Yeah. And there we are from Soldier Field in downtown Chicago. And of course, this is going to be kind of an interesting one from the standpoint of not just in terms of the Chicago Fire per se, but from a Nashville perspective. Again, the question for me is specifically Chicago's back line and whether or not they're 100% prepared for exactly what Nashville is going to do. The way that I look at this is right now, Nashville currently is actually tied at the top with NYCFC as far as goals for. The interesting thing about this is that so far, 13 goals, only 2 conceded, a goal difference of plus 11. Sammy Surridge currently leads the league in goals with 7. He has been absolutely on fire. Chicago, who actually started the day today, currently in 5th. They're now actually in 7th. Have given up 5, have only scored 7. And don't get me wrong, it's a plus goal differential. But from that standpoint, the way that I kind of look at this is that the onus for me really is going to be on Chicago's defense and whether or not they're actually going to be prepared for this. Because as of right now, the way that this looks at, the way that I look at this is you're going to see a lot of outside, you're going to see a lot of movement from Nahar up that left-hand side to provide that width. And it looks like Corcoran and it looks like Heine Mukhtar are probably going to be in that central area, while Surridge is going to be that main focus in the box. And really what's going to be interesting is, number one, whether or not Chicago is going to be able to at least, I wouldn't necessarily not necessarily say man mark guys like Mukhtar and Corcoran, but also whether or not they're going to be able to defend that outside to stop a guy like Nahar from pinging balls into the box. But that being said, you're also going to have to look on the on the left-hand side, as Tagseth is also one of those type of guys that can be a disruptor as well too, a guy who can deliver those type of through balls. And of course, you're going to have Espinoza down that left-hand side as well too. And so, what I will say is Nashville has many different ways that they can absolutely beat you to death. And for Chicago, it's going to be operation. And the question is whether or not they're absolutely fully prepared to handle the after wave of attacks at Nashville. Personally, I look at this as like, this has the makings of a 3-1 type of 3-1 type of win for Nashville. It wouldn't surprise me if it was like 4. This team has a propensity of starting off quickly, and overall, the way that I look at this is like, this is a team that knows it's good. This is a team that I feel is on a mission. If you guys remember last year, they came into the playoffs, exceptionally kind of, red hot, only to lose early in the playoffs to Inter Miami. And, a team where they felt like maybe they had a good shot of doing something. Took them to 3, didn't necessarily work out, and now they're back this season. And you can tell by the way that they started that they're on a mission. Not just in Major League Soccer, but also in the CCC as well too. It wouldn't surprise me if Nashville made that final. This really feels like this team has gelled. This team feels like not only has it come together, but it feels like, I know this sounds cliche, but this team really, really does play well for a guy like BJ Callahan, who up to this point seems to be a very underrated coach. And the way that this team continues to play, it's going to be a very short time before we're going to start talking about BJ Callahan as being one of the best coaches in Major League Soccer. The interesting thing, though, is that Chicago can be kind of sneaky, man. They can be a little sneaky good. And I'm curious to see how this thing um, 10 minutes is going to tell me pretty much everything that I need to know. Teams come correct tonight because this is either going to be one of those type of matches where it's going to be insanely close. Both teams fighting for essentially a single yard, playing hard to the whistle, or going to be a one-sided an absolute beatdown. So we're about to find out quite quickly. Dan Davenport in the chat says, where could you see Pochettino managing next and sign a new contract with the USA, or will he go back to Europe? I would probably assume he's going back to Europe. And now that De Zerbi is in his spot with Spurs, wouldn't surprise me if he ended up with Manchester United. Natesky75 says, what's up, Stateside? RIFCTID. I love it, man. I love Rhode Island FC, man. And listen, man, I'm going to be true to my word, and I'm going to hook you up with that Rhode Island FC live stream. I like to hook up the homies. So that is going to be on deck. I'm just trying to figure out which weekend it's going to work out best. And we will have ourselves a good old fashioned USL live stream. I kind of want to set it up with potentially Detroit City FC. That would be an excellent matchup. So let's wait for the start of this one. Live from Soldier Field in Chicago. Let's see quickly. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's happened around Major League Soccer. Looks like Toronto beat Colorado today 3-2. Of course, Josh Sargent gets his first as the Reds took care of business. And by the way, man, Zach Steffen had an absolute horrible day today. Letting in what I thought was one of the most disgusting goals. And listen, man, you feel bad for a guy like Zach Steffen, but sometimes that shit happens. Real Salt Lake beat Sporting Kansas City today 3-1. The Rev beat Montreal 3-0. The Red Bulls and FC Cincinnati are knotted at 1 at the half. Atlanta and Columbus are at the half, knotted at 0. Same thing with NYCFC and St. Louis. They're 0-0. FC Dallas leads DC United 2-0 at the half. Charlotte is up on Philly 1-0. In the 37th, 38th minute right now, Austin and Inter Miami are deadlocked at 1. As we are about ready to kick this one off from Chicago. Later tonight, my beloved Seattle Sounders are in Houston to take on the Dynamo. LAFC will host Orlando City. Vancouver hosts Portland. San Jose will host San Diego. And the LA Galaxy will host Minnesota. So that is having a little 37.7% chance of winning. Nashville 32.4. They are a plus 190. Chicago's a plus 145. And a draw is 29.9%. A plus 215 if you guys are the type that like to bet. Pretty goddamn close. Will be your assistant as we are getting set here. And I will let you VAR. And it looks like as we are getting set here. And we are off now. as Chicago playing forward, a ball to the other side of the box, and good. It looks like it's gone in. Fire. Have taken the lead. And that is, oh my God. We're talking 45 seconds into the first half. Chicago was trying to play the ball forward. A back pass got away from Nashville, and Chicago off the back side. And it looks like it was Jonathan Bamba that played one to the back post, and right there was Zucker with it. And Chicago now will play one out. So Nashville was just absolutely punched right in the face, right off of the opening draw. As Nashville will hold possession, and they are currently being run down by Chicago on the press. As this ball gets played to the right, and Chicago just takes the ball away. Unbelievable. As Chicago hit the first punch deep here in the first half. As this ball gets played back to Brady, and he's just going to rifle this one down the left side. And that'll stay in, as Chicago does a very good job of keeping it. And now that's going to be turned away as that gets played out. And I think that's going to be Chicago Fire. Chicago Fire possession. As we are 2 minutes, 30 seconds into this first half, as Chicago, unbelievable. As this ball gets played forward, that's going to get knocked out. Knocked out of play right there by Mboxy. Greg Berhalter has to like what he's seen so far from Chicago, as they're going to play this one back to their center back pairing. As it's played between Waterman as this looks like it's gonna get played all the way down as he finds Bamba on the left-hand side. Bamba will hold it as they're gonna work this and try to work this thing a little bit down. Here's Gutman, who's now gonna make the switch to the right-hand side, and that ball's gonna go out past the end line. So this will be a Nashville goal kick here, as Gutman was trying to find the switch right there, as he did have an open man on the right-hand side. Not exactly the greatest switch in the world. So Nashville will play it out of the back as Chicago presses, and they're doing a very good job, as Nashville's struggling to get out of their own end. That's a good pass forward, as Sammy Surridge now will play it down the right-hand side, and there's going to be a ball forward. And Nashville's in the box. There's a central pass that's going to get cleared away, as Nashville did a very good job of playing one into the box right there. There's almost another turnover right there, and it is. And here comes Chicago now into the box, and there's not going to be a whistle. as it looked like Espinoza just fell. As it looked like Tagseth right there couldn't control that one as that one gets played out. Was that last touch by Chicago? I think it was. Into each other. Rightfully a good no call right here. As Nashville crosses the halfway line. As that one last touch by Chicago as it goes out. So this will be a throw in for Nashville. Before Nashville. Chicago did a good job of taking away possession by Nashville. This is going to be as play restarts. Nashville really isn't necessarily applying pressure. And in a way, Nashville and Baluska and an errant pass looking for Tagseth as he was running in. And now Chicago's going to be on the counter. There's the switch to the right-hand side, and it's Barrasso. And he will slow things down. There's a through ball, but it will find Nashville. And here it's Tagseth now leading the counterattack. Here's Heine Mukhtar. As Tagseth now will play it out wide left. And it's Corcoran. And now they're going to try to work this a little bit deeper down the left-hand side. And now they're going to try to reset here. As now they're down the right-hand side. And this is the biggest problem that I have right here. Because playing it side to side, playing it back, fights the press. This is exactly what we're seeing right now. As Nashville actually had a deep position, and instead of slowing that and pressing forward, they slowed down to play in, and that's going to go off of Barrasso. So Nashville will have a corner. As Heine Mukhtar will be responsible for this corner. As Mukhtar who's wearing that, put this one in, is this center as it's headed around. And now this is going to get cleared out and throw in. Are they saying Chicago gets the throw in? As we see this again, this ball goes in. Hold possession, and now they're going to try to play one. As that was just an error pass. So Chicago comes away with it. A waste of a throw in there, as that one's going to get played around the corner. Phil, we'll get the whistle here as play resumes. A quick restart as tag set will move it back to the left-hand side as they're going to try to Nashville's going to try to catch Chicago out. That's a good ball in. It looks like it's Surridge in the box. Plays it forward, takes a deflection. And Chicago there is Palacios here. They've been a very, as not only did they catch Nashville napping within the first minute, but defensively they have looked absolutely solid, as their press has really kind of stymied Nashville a little bit as that ball makes its way around the left-hand side. That's a good ball forward, just a little too far off the touch right there, as it looks like they were looking for Heine Mukhtar, as Chris Brady was right there to cover that one up. And of course, Chris Brady coming back from U.S. men's national team camp. A lot of good words were said about Brady, as it looked like he may have solidified his spot on the World Cup roster, as that one may have been taken away, but Chicago is right there as Gutman does retrieve it, but Chicago has to play it out. So that'll be a Nashville throw-in. And if you're a U.S. men's national team fan, you know, and you're concerned a little bit about the goalkeeping position, you know, it's not a bad shout to have a guy like Chris Brady there within the ranks, just considering the top level talent. He certainly is somebody, maybe not for this cycle, but definitely next cycle, as that ball gets pinged back. And it will be Palacio now who's going to try it forward. He does. Good Chicago. As Nashville, no but to recycle this. And there's just nobody running forward here. No inside runs. There's just nowhere to play a ball, as they are stuck. Cycling it out. Trying side to side without any type of success does, as he wins the ball. As Nashville will hold possession yet again. There's a ball forward. Running over to get it is Mukhtar, and they say the last touch off of Heine Mukhtar. Chicago will actually have the to the left-hand side, and here comes Chicago. And so they get back, as their keeper now will sky it. And right there is Gutman, who heads it forward right back to the keeper. So Nashville is looking for a way in. As Chicago has done a very good job here, as we're approaching the 15th minute here in the first half. As they're looking aside, as now they get a little central, give and go, plays it out to the left, Not exactly the greatest pass, and allows Chicago to get in place. That's a good flick for here. Mukhtar off to the right hand side. There's a ball in. That's going to take deflection, and Jonathan Bob will come away with it. Immediately taken right is Nashville away. Oh, that's such a weak call. Oh, that's such a weak call. Chicago gets the free kick. So here's the replay now. As Chicago will flip between their two center backs. And it's Barrasso now off the right side, of course. And there's the switch, the left hand side, it's Gutman. And that ball gets played out by Corcoran, so it'll be a quick throw in for Chicago. What Chicago can do in their possession. Outside of the goal, really, it's been all Nashville through the first 15 minutes when it comes to possession. Outside of a few counterattacking opportunities for Chicago. Two center backs, and there's a ball forward, and they do hit Gutman, and that looks like it's being taken away by Palacios, and they're going to say there's a whistle against Gutman. So Nashville will restart and nearly threw it away right here, as they're going to try to attack down the left-hand side, and now they'll play it back. They'll play right corner. Here's Mukhtar, who turns off the half turn forward. Back. There's a ball in. There's a shot. Ooh, and a wide post to the right. Ooh, that's Surridge right there. They found him in a beautiful spot for the equalizer. Good, good late, good deep run right there for Nashville. As Nahar made a good run down the left-hand side. Excuse me, that right-hand side. Ooh, that was tough. Be a goal kick as Brady now. We'll send this long. As Seth goes up, heads it down. Right there, Sam Surridge makes the turn a little bit. That's a good little flip forward. But it goes out. As Nashville looks like came away with this one. Errant passes. And now it's Chicago with Jonathan Bamba. Play it down the right-hand side. Finds his man. As Barrasso will have to play it back. And there's a chip forward, and it does find good defense by Nashville, but that's all in. Ooh. And now it's finally cleared. Tiny Mukhtar. Ball goes out. Last touch by Rob. Job of winning that ball back and putting one in, and he had, and it looks like Haile Selassie was right there for Chicago, but couldn't find his foot. Here comes Nashville. That was going to get played back to Palacios. Side, that's a good run in. Here's Tagseth. And Chicago does a good job of pressing, but maybe overcommits on the tackle. Eventually, Chicago wins that one back. And then Bamba loses control as Nashville try to dribble in the traffic, and all of a sudden now here's a counterattack. And it's Chicago down the left-hand side, and it's Bamba 1v1 against Tagseth. Cuts in. Bamba plays one, and that's going to get cleared away. As there's going to be a whistle, and that's going to be against Gutman. As this thing has turned physical. Nosa won that ball back clearly. As we are pushing 20. Nashville has held all possession, really. But Chicago really holds the lead. And there's going to be a ball down the left. Held, that's not going to be held in. So that ball, again, errant passing by Nashville, as Chicago now will have the throw-in. This one forward. Yeah, Chicago nearly lost it. And now they're going to try to play one forward. On the ball. Oh. As Nahar got to the ball first, and Bamba was just a little late. Here's Schwake. Schwake. That's an interesting last name. Long. As that's going to get headed forward. Eventually it's going to forward. Here's Heine Mukhtar. Now off to the right-hand side. Here's Christian Espinosa. Espinosa puts one in as it finds a fire defender. And eventually it finds Robin Lott. Here's Barrasso now pushing down the right-hand side off the counterattack. He's going to try to play one forward, but there's Schwake. And Nashville possession yet again, as we are coming close to the 25-minute mark here in the first half. Chicago leads 1-0. A little rising, considering, it happened within the first 30 seconds as Nashville was caught with their pants down. As it's Mukhtar now. He's trying to find his footing. And it's Espinosa who will play it off to Tagseth. Now they're going to make the switch to the left-hand side. As now they're going to try to switch again. Here's Espinosa. Tries to cut in, finds Tagseth, except the touch was just a little too hard. And Chicago comes away with it. Just Bad possession, and there's going to be a whistle. These whistles absolutely make no sense. Hard contact, play on, light contact, whistle. Make it make sense. Seriously. MLS refereeing is just absolutely horrible. As they're going to play this one back again, and now they're going to play it back yet again. As we are through the first turnover, here's Sammy Surridge. As he tried to play it over, it looked like Espinoza was making a run. That's an errant pass. So here comes Chicago off the right-hand side. Cuts in. There's a shot that's going to take a block. And now there's going to be a whistle, in which should have been a yellow card. Looks like that again was against Pippin. Will just be a normal whistle, as it looks like. Yeah, Zickernagel made that nice little run. Tried to come in and try to make a play, but it was a good block right, putting goal. So this will be a free kick for Nashville, and it looks like Schwacke will come out to take this one. And he's going to play this one long. Not a bad first half. As outside of the opening goal, Chicago just hasn't really had much. And Nashville just can't seem to string two passes together as they're building forward. As Chicago continues just to play between their center backs. As Bomba, or they find Bomba, and that's taken away. As Robin Lott and Tagseth get into it now, who comes away with the ball, plays it forward. Gutman was there, as that wasn't really that great of a pass right there by Heine Mukhtar. As Nashville comes away with it off a heavy touch by Chicago. So these two teams are just trading possession at the moment. There's a ball that's going to find Sammy Surridge. And now he's going to play this to the outside. There's a ball in that's going to get cleared out. So Nashville will have the throw in here. Not a bad little 1-2 right there. Between Surridge and Corcoran. As this ball gets played back, as Corcoran now will play it forward, finds Heine Mukhtar, who turns. He's driving forward in traffic, lays it off to Espinosa, who's going to try to chip it. That's going to take a block by Gutman, and that's going to get played out. So Nashville will have the throw-in off the right-hand touchline. And it looks like Nahar is coming over. as it's Nahar. And now they're going to play it back. Here's Tagseth. He will play it off to the left. As that was nearly taken away as Mule played it on. Here's Tagseth. As Mule tried to play it forward as Tagseth made a run, and then he dribbles backwards. And here's Nahar. Plays it forward. It's Espinosa off the right-hand side. Nashville just can't seem to find any, and there's nobody there. That ball just goes out of bounds. What in the absolute fuck is that? It's absolutely disgusting. As Tagseth made a run, and instead of trying to push, he dribbled backwards. And there's a whistle right there. Robin Lott will get called for the foul against Tagseth. And then they cycle it around to the right-hand side, only to play it back yet again. And then there was an errant pass that both Nahar and Tagseth go by them. Oh, God. Nashville will play it all the way backward. As Nahar really take it. I got to be honest with you. As Nashville has been guilty of it. Extremely disjointed soccer. Here's Mule. Plays it forward. Down the left-hand side. And there's ball in. That post was crazy. That was nice. Chicago is elected just to play the ball back between their center back pairing. Maybe occasionally taking a shot forward. Nashville just jointed. It's actually quite surprising to see this play out. I understand a feeling out period, but we're 30 minutes in. And now Chicago. And finally, they play something forward. And they play it to absolutely nobody in particular, as Palacios will let that go out. As Nashville will hold possession. I got to be honest with you guys. This was not the match that I expected. I expected the Eastern leaders to be the team that is in possession, good passing, and yet they've been absolutely stymied by Chicago's defense. And I think there's going to be a foul here as Corcoran hits the deck. And he's fouled in the process, so this will be a free kick. As we are approaching the we're in the 30, we're actually in the 36th. as Chicago actually has the pick. I apologize for that, because that gets played out. Ugh. As play is resumed, as Nashville now will hold possession. That's a good ball forward. Here's Mukhtar. By the way, Zickernickel, who scored Chicago's first goal, and they're going to say this one's against Mule. Chicago. That's going to get played out. And it looked like that was throw-in, as Barrasso now on the right-hand side, and there's going to be a whistle, and they're going to say this is against Chicago. I don't understand this whistle at all. I'm wondering if I'm watching the same match as I'm trying to figure out where the contact was. As Nashville will hold possession here. Just tag Seth. As he finds Heine Mukhtar. As they will try to press down. And now there's the how to play it forward, but Gutman's there to take this thing away. And now Gutman will just play it out as he was looking for Bamba. So Nashville will have to throw in. This is Keystone Cop Soccer. And now Chicago will play it back. That's a good pass in a central area. Here's Gutman off the left-hand side. Gutman's going to play one in, and Schwacke is there to cover it up. As nobody was there within 5 feet of Schwacke. Out, and it's Nahar who will hold. As Nashville tries to build. And it's Corcoran. He plays it forward. That's a good touch. As it's Heine Mukhtar trying to dribble through traffic. Finds Tagseth. We'll play it out to the left. And there's a ball that's a little too far forward for Mule right there. As it ends up in the midst of Chris Brady trying to attack down that left-hand side. As we have reached the 40th minute now. As that one, they'll find a way out. Robin Ladd. And I As we're back, and I do apologize for the technical difficulties. Yeah. Anyway, so we are at the half now as Chicago does lead 1-0. And of course, the Chicago Fire did a very good job right there at the end of the first half, pressing forward, getting into much better spaces than they actually had for the good majority of that first half. Of course, the first half was pretty much dominated in possession by Nashville, but of course, Nashville literally could absolutely do nothing in possession. It was one of the. I got to be honest with you guys. It was one of the worst halves of football that I think I've absolutely seen. Let's go ahead and check the stats on this first half. As Nashville did dominate possession 59-41, but XG tells the story as Nashville's XG 0.16 to Chicago's 0.92. Total shots 6 for Chicago, only 2 for Nashville. Chicago had 2 shots on target to Nashville's 0. And of course, Chicago had 1 big chance, which they buried. Nashville has yet to have 1. Accurate passes. Nashville 257 to Chicago's 188. Fouls committed. Chicago 8, Nashville 5. Both have 1 corner. When you're talking about XG, there is no differential because really for the most part, XG on what set plays, it's virtually the exact same. XG on target, by the way, Nashville 0.00 to Chicago's 0.94. When we're looking at shots inside the box, Chicago 3, Nashville 1. Shots outside the box 3-1. Total passes, Nashville 301, Chicago 215. Passes in the own half, Chicago 133, Nashville 117. Passes in the opposition half, 140-55 for Nashville. But that being said, it doesn't necessarily matter what you do with possession. How many shots did you take? How brave were you getting forward? And the answer was none at all. Accurate long balls, 13 apiece. Accurate crosses, neither team has 1. Nashville has 14 throws to Chicago's 8. Touches in the opposition box, Chicago 11, Nashville 5. And Nashville was offside twice. As far as defense goes, the tackle battle, Nashville leads that one 8-6. Both teams have 5 interceptions. Nashville has 3 blocks to Chicago 0. Chicago has 9 clearances to Nashville 3. Keeper saves 1-0 for Nashville. The duel battle, Nashville leads that 20-16. Ground duels 0-0. Aerial duels 2-0 for Chicago, and successful dribbles 4-3 for Nashville. And so really how this breaks down is that I was expecting Nashville to be the better team. They are the better team, and they're very potent on the attacking side. But for whatever reason, even when they're trying to work the 1-2s in the middle of the park, they just take heavy touches, and they literally cough the ball up way too easy. As Chicago is able, especially late in that first half, to get forward and actually make it a little bit more dangerous. That was an eye-opener. Both teams really haven't been all that great, I got to be honest with you, which is actually kind of surprising because you would expect, with Nashville, especially being at full strength, not only would you expect them to dominate the possession, but you would also expect at least a couple high-quality chances. And outside of Nahar's ball into the box that found Surridge, that has literally been it. And of course, Surridge pushed that, to the right, not even on target. As Brady has, Chris Brady has had really no work in that first half. Of course, the play of the game happened 17 seconds into the first half as Chicago, did a very good job of working that in. And Bamba will hit Zickernagel. And that is where we're at. And it's unfortunate. It really is. as that's where we're standing. So I am really hoping for a second half that really kind of highlights Nashville's strengths, and hopefully we'll see that, because there shouldn't be any excuse. Yes, I understand. Chicago is the home side, and from that standpoint, you would probably think that maybe they would be in a little bit better position to win this one. But that being said, Nashville is just too good. Not necessarily by the play in the first half, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and check around the league as we get into it. Today, Toronto did beat Colorado, as both teams had red cards today. For Toronto, Raheem Edwards in the 49th minute, and for Colorado, Jackson Tarvis in the 34th minute and Miguel Navarro in the 74th minute. So Colorado was playing down 2 and Toronto was playing down 1. But they ended up winning this one 3-2 as Richie Laria scored in the 65th minute. Zach Steffen gave up an own goal in the 77th minute, which was absolutely doo-doo. And then Josh Sargent gets his first goal in the 85th minute, as that was the winner. For Colorado, Paxton Aronson scored in the 51st, and Keegan Rosenberry scored in the 54th minute, but it was not enough, as the Reds end up taking that one. Real Salt Lake did beat Sporting Kansas City today 3-1, as Diego Luna scored in the 4th minute. Sergi Solon scored in the 55th minute, and Xavier Gozo scored in the 82nd minute. And this kid is just unbelievable. And Dejan Joveljic scored in the 59th minute for Sporting Kansas City. But Real Salt Lake was absolutely dominant in this one. New England beat Montreal today 3-0, as Luca Langoni scored in the 6th minute. Mamadou Fofana scored in the 77th minute, and Peyton Miller in the 90+4, as the Rev walked away from this one. I feel bad for Montreal. It just is what it is. In the 90+5 right now, the Red Bulls are absolutely dominating 16th, and it looks like Elvis Powell just got a red card for Cincinnati, so he goes off, as this one is pretty much over. Julian Hall scored in the 12th minute. He's also unbelievable. He's an unbelievable youngster as well, too. Unbelievable player. Emil Forsberg scored in the 48th minute. Kyle Smith scored an own goal for Cincinnati, and Mohamed Sofo scored in the 90+3. For Cincinnati, Pavel Buka and Kyle Smith scored, as this one is about to go final. So the Red Bulls clearly unbelievable at home. Good performance. Columbus right now leads Atlanta United 3-1 in Atlanta, as Alexei Miranchuk scored in the 60th minute. And for Columbus, Wassam Abdu Ali scored in the 48th and 53rd, and Max Arfson scored in the 61st minute for Columbus, and that one's about to go final. FC Dallas absolutely destroyed DC United 4-0. Logan Farrington scored in the 16th minute. Patrickson Delgado in the 45+1. Ozazi Uragad scored in the 78th minute, and Peter Musa scored in the 90+1 as FC Dallas. Great googly moogly. NYCFC and St. Louis played to a 1-1 draw today, as Hannes Wolf scored for NYCFC, and Brendan McSorley scored in the 90+6 to even that one out. I guess congratulations to St. Louis City to at least get something from that one. About to go final right now is Charlotte leading Philadelphia 2-1, as Ashley Westwood scored in the 30th minute. Danley Jean-Jacques scored in the 78th minute for Philly, and then Wilfred Zaha scored in the 80th minute, as that one looks like it's about to hold for Charlotte. Austin currently leading Inter Miami 2-1 in the 72nd minute, as Messi scored in the 10th minute. as Guillermo Barrio scored in the 6th minute and Jaden Nelson in the 53rd, and that one currently is holding. Still 20 minutes left as we are about ready to start the second half on this one. Seattle and Houston have kicked off, and that is still 0-0, and that one is in the 38th minute. Later tonight, LAFC hosts Orlando, Vancouver hosts Portland, San Jose will host San Diego, and the LA Galaxy host Minnesota. Interesting. It's kind of, what I will say is that number one, I'm actually happy for Josh Sargent as he was able to find his first goal for Toronto. With all the hoopla and brouhaha surrounding his, his transfer from Norwich City, one of the things that he absolutely needed to do was hit the ground running, considering the finances involved, all the drama involved. One of the things that he absolutely had to do was hit the ground running. It is what it is, but it's nice to see him to finally get on the score sheet. That being said, today was, there was an interesting question that was posed to me, and it's whether or not, Josh could make the World Cup team, and the answer is absolutely not. I don't see that happening. It's unfortunate too. Josh is 25, and this was supposed to be the World Cup cycle that, things come together. And of course, his time over there in the championship was absolutely productive. He was one of the best goal scorers there in the championship, and he had a shot. And Josh had his shot with the national team, and unfortunately he could not score goals. And there's only so many chances that you're going to get. And he couldn't take advantage of it. Really, it came down to the Gold Cup, and when he elected to not play in the Gold Cup, that was pretty much it. And he had his shot in the September window, couldn't make it happen, and that was pretty much it. And we haven't seen Josh too much with the national team since, and it's unfortunate too, because I actually thought that Josh was probably going to be one of the guys that benefited from Mauricio Pochettino. It just has not worked out. But that being said, what I will say is for Josh moving forward, if he is able to, carve out a nice little niche with Toronto, then he gets into his prime and he develops into a 15-goal scorer. He'll get more opportunities with the national team. But as far as the 26 cycle, there's just no chance that he's going to, unless there is an injury. For instance, if if an Ajamang goes down or a Haji Wright goes down within the next month, yeah, maybe he does based on injury. But as far as production goes, absolutely not. Looks like we are getting ready to to start the second half. And remember to make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming Stateside Footy content. So it looks like Nashville will be playing from right to left, as they will hold possession. And it looks like there's no changes from BJ Callahan. As we are going to be set here. And we are underway here as Chicago will play this long. And it's going to be headed forward here as that's going to come down. And it'll find a Chicago Fire attackers. They're going to play the one forward as it finds Barrasso now. And Chicago will hold on possession as that ball gets played back. And now it'll get played all the way back to Chris Brady for some reason. As Chicago resets, as Nashville pushes forward. As that gets played long, headed forward, and it'll find a Chicago Fire defender as he plays this one back to Brady. Ooh, that's a cross box pass that was nearly picked off, and now Chicago will play it long. And it looks like there might be a whistle there. There is. As play resets, as Nashville try to play it quick, and they're going to have to do this one again. As this will get played down the right-hand side. As Tagseth now will play it forward. As Mukhtar, his pass. As that goes out, so this will be a throw-in now for Chicago as Barrasso now will handle the throw-in. As that one will go long. And there's going to be a whistle. And that'll against Tagseth. As play resumes, as they'll take a deflection. And Nashville will hold possession here. That's a good ball forward. As looks like that ball gets played back. As Walladze will play it to Lovitz, and it's going to go back to Walladze. And now they're stuck now, as that has to get played all the way back to Shwaki. As Nashville will reset. As there's a dribble forward right there from Palacios. And he has to stop. That's a good ball forward. As now Heine Mukhtar now will play it off the left-hand side. It's Lovitz who's going to stop and lay it off to Tagseth here. As Nashville now is going to try to push up. That's a good pass. That's a good play into the box. There's a that's going to take a deflection, but right there was Chris Brady. That was good ball movement down the right-hand side as Nashville found a nice little space right there to try to attack from. But the deflate, as that ball came in, as it looked like it was a low pass in, it took a deflection up and it found Chris Brady. And now Barrasso is going to try to play one forward. As Chicago plays one into the box. Ooh. That was a good ball forward. And it found Selassie right there, who played one forward. And that was a good save right there by Shwaki. As this ball was taken away by Chicago, there's a shot that's going to go wide. As Chicago did a very good job of taking away the passing lane, as Nashville trying to play it out of the back there. And that was Jonathan Bamba on a nice little run forward. And he nearly scored. And Nashville, again, is going to have that ball taken away. As Chicago's pressure has done a very good job. As there's going to be a whistle. And it looks like Bamba will hit the deck there. So I think this is going to be Chicago ball now. last two times Nashville has played it out from the back, Chicago's done a very good job of pressuring Nashville into turning that ball over. As Chicago could do nothing with it. Although they just nearly scored right there, but as it looks like play has stopped yet again, as there's going to be a whistle on the right-hand side as Chicago now will hold possession. As this one gets played back to Brady. And Brady's going to have to play this one long. And it looks like it was Lovitz that will win that one for Nashville. Schwacke now will play it forward. As it will find Tagseth now. As he's going to try to play it a little centrally. Ooh, it looked like it did find Surridge. But no whistle. And here's Barrasso. As that ball's going to get played out. Last touch by Nashville. So Barrasso now will have the throw-in. As that one will go forward. As it's headed around. Eventually finding Chicago. As that'll go out of bounds. It'll be last touch by Chicago, so this will be a Nashville throw-in. Again, more of the same here to start the second half, as we are now, 7-8 minutes in? As that's a throw-in that's going to be headed out by Barrasso, so we'll do it again. As that one will go all the way back. And it'll find Schwacke, who plays it forward now. And that will go out of bounds. So Nashville just is not clean in their passing sequences. For whatever reason, they just can't seem to put two passes together. But there's a good ball forward. And that's good defense right there by Chicago, as they did find Sammy Surridge running forward. Actually, it was Espinosa. That was a very good pass, a quick pass. And that's exactly how they're going to be able to get forward. As Nahar will throw this one in. It's a long ball, headed forward. And now it's going to be cleared. As Nashville will hold possession. As this one gets played all the way back to the keeper. Don't concede space. Good Lord. As Surridge will try to head this one forward, but right to Chicago. And there's a whistle. As this looks like it'll go to Nashville here. As that's a good ball forward here by Nashville. As Tagseth will play it forward. Here comes Nashville now, trying to find space. As Lovitz now. And he'll play this one back. They got to move this ball quicker, as they are just conceding space. And there's a turnover right there. So here comes Chicago. And now they play this one forward for Bamba. And there's going to be a whistle. And I would be surprised if there's a card because Bamba's down on the ground. Nice transition right there by Chicago. And that's the thing. It's like, Nashville, the only time that they've looked good is when they played the ball forward quickly. Quick passes, trying to catch Chicago out of position. When they've tried to play their high possession game, all they do is concede space and invite press to come into them. And all it is side to side and backwards. And they just cannot seem to get forward. And Chicago's taking advantage of it. So play is restarted. And it's immediately taken away by Nashville. And here's Mukhtar, who will play it off to the left. Here's Tagseth. And Nashville will try to hold possession now, as this one makes its way down the left-hand side. Oh, good move right here. Why not take the shot? God damn it. As they work this way to the right-hand side, there's a ball in, and that'll go out. And I think this might be a Nashville corner. Yeah, it will be. Good Lord, man. He cut in, and he had nobody around him for 10 feet. Instead of trying to take a shot from a decent area, he played it across. And so this will be Espinosa taking this corner, as that ball will go in and it'll immediately get cleared out, as Nashville will hold the ball in. As that will go forward. And now Chicago will clear it. And it looked like Espinosa was taken down in the box. No whistle. So here comes Chicago, trying to counter quick, and now that's taken away by Nashville. Now here comes Nashville. They will try to slow this thing down. Why? It's been 60 minutes of Nashville trying to slow it down and trying to build up methodically, and they just can't do it. As this one will go to the left-hand side. That's a good little pass in. That's a good ball to the outside. Cross. And Chicago is there. And now Chicago will clear it. But it was held in by Nashville. And they'll try this one down the right-hand side. There's a ball in, and that's going to be headed away. And that'll get out, and it'll be a Nashville throw-in. This has been absolutely dreadful to watch. Good Lord. As there's a ball in. Ooh, and it just misses its target. And it looked like that might have been Heine Mukhtar at the far post. It just cleared his head. One of the things that Nashville just cannot do is break down Chicago's low block. As it looks like Elliott's down. For the most part, Nashville's held 60% of the possession in this one. And every single time they get down in Chicago's end, Chicago will put 10 behind the ball, and Nashville just can't break them down. And they're doing a very good job of taking away the central area so they can't work in. And it looks like Nashville now will have a double switch. As BJ Callahan will now make switches here at the 60th minute. So it looks like Corcoran's coming off. As I'll have those substitutes for you in just a second. As it looks like, Mule and Corcoran will come off for Yazbeth and it'll be Yazbeth and Madrigal. So they are bringing in another attacker here to the process. As Elliott's finally up and looks like he's coming off. And coming in for him will be, it looks like Cups. Yeah, Christopher Cups will come off for Elliott. And it looks like now Salistros will take the armband. As play is resumed now, as Chicago will hold possession, and it looks like now, finally, Nashville is applying a little bit of pressure. And they nearly came away from the ball, except an errant pass, an errant high ball right there. And Chicago now will hold possession. Good Lord, this is just ugh. As looks like Chris Brady will play it to the left-hand side. That's a ball forward that's nearly taken away by Nashville. As Chicago now will try to play it through the mid. And they're going to have to play this one back. Here's Ballot. Here's Ballot. Good Lord. Yeah, Barrasso. Here comes Nashville now. Coming down the right-hand side. That's going to take a deflection. That was a good takeaway right there. As Nashville picked the back pocket of Chicago. So they'll hold possession here. As that one's going to take a deflection. It'll go out as Nahar now will take the throw-in. As they will switch this all the way to the left. And, of course, there was nobody there, so that goes out. And just another turnover for Nashville. As Chicago will play this back to Brady. As Nashville looks like they're pushing the tempo a little bit here, looking for the equalizer. And that one will go out of bounds. And a quick throw in to Jonathan Bamba. And he will hold possession. That's a good ball forward. And Chicago will hold possession here. As Bamba now will play it forward. There's a good ball forward up the left-hand side. That's good defense by Nashville to take it away. And here's Nahar, who's going to play it long. As Mukhtar now will switch it to the left-hand side. And there's nothing but daylight here. There's a ball in. There's a shot. Ooh, and it did find Surridge. But right there is Chris Brady. And that was Nashville's best looking attacking opportunity here in the second half. Good ball movement as they move quick on that counterattack, and they did find Surridge right there. But his shot was direct right into Chris Brady. As Nashville will take this one away. And it's Nahar. as they're going to play this one around. As they switch back to the right-hand side. That's a good ball forward. Ooh, Chicago nearly took it away right there. And that's a bad pass. As Chicago took it away, and then Nashville took it right back. As they're going to try again, working it down this right-hand side. Looks like it's Espinosa. Played it forward. That's good defense by Chicago. And here comes Jonathan Bamba. And he runs into traffic. No whistle as Bamba hits the deck. And Nashville will come away with the ball. As they try to work down this right-hand side yet again. Oh, that's a nice move. Oh, Chicago. Good defense. As Bamba now is going to try to... Oh, and he nearly did. He nearly beat two defenders right there. Actually, it was Davila. So Nashville will hold possession here. That's good possession here for Nashville. As they will work it down the left-hand side. That's a good ball in. Ooh, it's just a little too far forward as that goes past the end line there. And I think this is going to be a goal kick. It will be. And again, that's when Nashville has actually looked their best. It's when they're moving the ball, moving the ball a little bit quicker. Trying to catch Chicago out. More counterattacking, less buildup. And it looks like Chicago's got a man down. And it looks like Salistros is down, so the physios have come out. Chicago is clinging to a 1-0 lead. Scored 17 seconds into the first half as Jonathan Bamba caught Nashville napping there. And it was Zickernagel with an easy tap in. And it was the opening goal that has currently stood, as Nashville has had struggles breaking down Chicago's low block for a good portion of this game. They have actually dominated possession in this match, but have yet to string two good passes together to try to get into that attacking third. When they have looked good, it's been on the counterattack when they've moved the ball far quicker, but are still in that are still searching for that equalizing goal here, as we are now pushing the 70th minute now, as we're 20 minutes from the final whistle. As if things currently stand, this will give Chicago 10 points, which would be even with Red Bull and Toronto, and they would move back into that fifth place slot. For Nashville, they would remain in first. As here comes Nashville now. Down the left-hand side, as Tagseth now will move it to a central area, as this ball is going to get worked down again down the right-hand side. Here's Nahar. He's going to put one in way over the head, way over the box, as that's going to go out. Last touch by Chicago. As this ball comes right back into Tag Seth. Let's see what Nashville can do here. As that ball, was just a little too far forward. Here comes Chicago now, trying to counter. Here's Bamba, dribbling into a central area. They're going to lay this one off to the right. There's a ball in, back post. That's a good save right there. Schwaki came out off his line to corral that one in. So here comes Nashville again, moving down very quickly here. That's a good turn. That's going to take a deflection. Chicago will come away with the ball. That's a turnover. And there's going to be a foul right there. As Mukhtar will hit the dirt right there. And there is a yellow card. And that'll go against Salistros. As Chicago will get their first yellow. As that was a clean turnover. As Heine Mukhtar was dribbling forward and gets taken down from the back. So that's an easy yellow. So now all of a sudden, Nashville has a set piece from a dangerous area right outside the 18-yard box, centrally a little bit to the right. And it'll be Mukhtar taking Nashville's free kick here as Brady sets up the wall. We'll see if Nashville can equalize here. As we are pushing the 75th minute now. And here we go. There's a shot. Ooh. And Brady does a very good job right there. As Brady parries this one away. That was actually a beautiful free kick right there. And he just gets his hand on it. As it looks like it was starting to curl into that far corner, but he gets his hands on it. So this will now be a corner. Excellent save right there by Chris Brady. As now Nashville will have this corner. It's Espinosa who plays it in. And that's going to be headed out as Espinosa keeps it in. And that's actually going to go out. Originally kept in, but eventually gets played out. So Chicago will have the throw in. But again, Nashville has another opportunity. Good save right there by Chris Brady as he puts it over the bar. As play resumes, as Chicago, as that ball gets played out. So Nashville will have the throw in. As that one will go back. And that's a good pass forward. Here's Mukhtar. Nice. Why are you playing it back? Good grief. As Nashville has nowhere to go. That's a good pass forward. As they're going to try to work this again down the right-hand side. There's nowhere to go. As now they're going to try to work it down the left-hand side. Here's Tag Seth. That's good defense right there by Chicago as Tag Seth gets played off the ball. And there's going to be a whistle. And this one will go to Chicago. as we are now in the 75th minute, 15 minutes left to play, as this free kick will be taken by Chris Brady. Good Lord, man. As Brady will shoot this one down in a central area, headed up. As this will be controlled by Nashville. Chicago, nearly taken away right there, but it gets played out of bounds. So Nashville will have the throw in, as it looks like it was, Zickernagel right there that nearly picked the back pocket. Except the ball flies out of bounds. And I'll do it again here. So there's a quick throw in as Nashville tries to play it up the left-hand side, as Barrasso should have been whistled for a foul, but play resumes as Nashville tries to press, as that ball goes forward, as Chicago will come away with it. That's a good ball forward. Oh, that's even better defense right there. Oh, back pocket pick. Here's Bamba. And he tries to shoot. That ball will get deflected. There's another shot that'll get deflected. So here comes Nashville now. Plays it forward. And there has to be a whistle right there. There's a yellow card. And I think they're going to say this was against Mukhtar. There's the initial contact. As Espinosa now comes off. And there's a double switch now for Nashville, as Espinosa and Lovitz come off, and Reed Baker Whiting and Kassam comes in. So the former Sounder, Reed Baker Whiting, will get into this one, as this will be a free kick for Nashville, as this ball gets played in. Headed down, there's a shot that's going to take a deflection. Immediately, it's going to get cleared. But Nashville will hold on to this one. And there's going to be a whistle, as we are pushing the 80th minute now, as Nashville is trying desperately to try to get forward here. But they still have yet to solve Chicago's low block. As it looks like what is that? Salastros is down. Nope, it's Zickernagel. But he's back up now, as play will resume. So this will be a quick free kick as that ball gets played forward. That's going to take a drop. Will come out to Tagseth. He goes flying. As Chicago will try to play it forward. That's an errant pass. And there's going to be another whistle. And I think this is going to be Chicago ball, as it looks like this might go against Tagseth. And it will. As looks like Zickernagel hit the deck there. As Tagseth is actually going to get a yellow on this one. So this will be a free kick for Chicago, as we are now approaching the 80th minute. For those that are tuning in, Chicago scored 17 seconds into the first half, and that's where we're currently at. 1-0 Chicago, as they hold possession. And it looks like this ball will go out, last touch by Chicago. So Nashville, again, will have an opportunity. As it looked like there's going to be another switch this time for Chicago. As Shukladak will come on for Selassie. So it looks like Chicago is going a little bit more defensive, trying to hold on to this 1-0 lead. As play is resumed, Nashville in possession. As Tagseth will dribble this ball forward. This entire second half, Nashville's been trying to work it down the right side. There's the ball forward. That looks like it's a little too forward as that'll go past the inline. So this will be a goal kick for Chicago. There's been a big lack of creativity from Nashville's side. And because of it, they just have yet to solve the low block of Chicago. I mean, all credit to Chicago overall, right? They have done exactly what they set out to do, which is take away the central areas of this, essentially taking away the strengths of a Heine Mukhtar and a Sam Surridge. They have essentially been forced to the wings, and they just have not been able to do pretty much anything with their possession. So from that standpoint, you have to give credit to Chicago. They've done a very good job. They nicked the early goal, and they've been able to hold it. As that ball will ultimately come down, and it looks like Chicago will hold possession, and they're going to try to move quickly here as that one gets played out to the right. And I think there's going to be a whistle. No, they're saying that ball got out of bounds. Oh, boy. Chicago was looking to get forward quickly, looking for that second goal. As that ball gets out of bounds. So here comes Nashville. Here's Tagseth. As he gets overrun in the mid. And they're going to whistle that one a free kick. As play is resumed. As Nashville will play it down the right-hand side. Here's Nahar. Trying to move quickly. That's a good ball in. Taken away. And there's a whistle. As Bamba again will hit the deck. Looking like he's a gunshot victim. You're all right, dude. Just get up. As Nashville had the right idea. They had a runner there. As Chicago did a good job of taking away the passing lane. Bamba off the half turn tried to move forward. He gets taken down, so this will be a free kick, and it'll be Chris Brady taking the free kick as we're approaching the 85th minute. 6 minutes remaining here in regulation time. As that ball will get out of bounds. So Nashville will have the throw-in, and it will be Nahar here. Nashville just was not fluid at all. All credit to Chicago, as they spent a good portion of the first and second half pressing high, taking Nashville out of rhythm, forcing them into quick passes that resulted into interceptions and turnovers. And Nashville just hasn't been able to do pretty much anything at all. When they have get forward, they just couldn't break it. They couldn't break Chicago's defense down. All credit to Chicago in this one. I mean, this, for the most part, this was one of the more uglier matches I think I've ever seen. as this one is taken away by Nashville as there is a whistle. So here's the restart. As this ball makes its way out to the left-hand side, 1v1 against Barrasso. That's a good ball. Oh, just a bad touch right there, as that'll get out. But I think there's going to be a foul right there as Barrasso hits the deck. And I think this is going to be Chicago possession here. Yeah, it will be. So Brady will take the free kick right here. As he skies this one down the right hand side, headed forward. As Barrasso now will play it to the other side. It'll come down to Nashville, and Nashville is going to try to get forward quickly. As that's a terrible pass, which was quickly cleared, but Nashville will hold it. There's a ball to the left-hand side. Heavy touch. Back post. And that's gonna clear everyone. That'll get out for a goal kick. Good switch right there by Nashville. But Mandrigal. That was just a terrible cross right there. As that was nowhere near Sam Surridge. Surridge was right there. He actually was he was in a good position right there at the back post. As Nashville will try again. Yeah, Chicago will just play this one out. So this will be a throw-in. As we are now in the 88th minute. As desperation is set in. As they are trying everything to get forward. As Nashville will make another change here. As it looks like Pasius has come on and Tag Seth has come off. As Nashville will have the throw in here. And that ball is going to be a long throw into the box, headed towards Brady as it comes down. As they work this to the right-hand side now. As Chicago's done a good job defending this. There's a ball in, back post, headed forward. Ooh, it was nearly put on. As Brady makes another save. As that'll go out, and Nashville will have the throw in here. But Nashville finally got something on net. And Chris Brady makes another good save. Oh, that's good defense right there. As Chicago picks the back pocket. And now this ball will go forward. And they're going to find Bamba. Oh, that was just a bad pass forward. And there's going to be a whistle. This is going back to Chicago. As it was Palacios was at the near post right there to receive that header. And Chris Brady, again, with a save. And now Chicago will make another switch here as Radojevic comes on, and it looks like And it looks like Zickernagel will come off for Chicago as Zickernagel scored the opening goal in the 17 seconds into the first half, and it's that goal that stands. As he's actually had a fairly solid game for Chicago. As play resumes now, as we are now in extra time. Seven minutes of extra time. It will be. As Chicago now will try to work this deep as that gets out past the end line. And I think this is going to be a goal kick for Nashville, and it will. As Nashville tries to operate quickly now. As for the last 30 minutes, really it's been all possession to Nashville, as Chicago has spent essentially much of the second half trying to defend this 1-0 lead, as this one will get out. And they've done an absolutely superb job of doing so. One of the things that Nashville just has not been able to do is get quality shots on net. There's another one that's going to go in as this one gets cleared. And it looks like Nashville will hold on to possession here. They just have yet to really test Chris Brady. There's a ball over the top. As that stays in, actually it will get out. So here's a quick throw in for Nashville. As they'll try to work this down the left-hand side. And it looks like there's going to be a foul here. So this will be a free kick for Nashville down the left-hand side. So this will be in a fairly good area. Here's the quick start. Chip over the top. And right at Brady, though, who will come down. That's been my biggest problem with this with this match is, for a team that likes to methodically build up, Nashville just has not been able to find themselves in good areas to test Chris Brady. As looks like Reed Baker Whiting tried to play one in off the left-hand side. That takes to deflection. As I think there's going to be a whistle here. And there is. So this will be a free kick for Nashville yet again, as Heine Mukhtar will take this one. And I think they whistled this one against Bamba. So Heine Mukhtar will take this free kick here, as Nashville's running out of time. There's a ball in. It'll find the back post, as that one will get out. As we see this one again, it was a good entry. Looking for anybody at the back post, and it looks like it was initially headed forward by a Chicago defender with Palacios at the back post, but it was just a little too far forward. So this will be a goal kick for Chicago. As we're in the 95th minute, 2 minutes left to play here. As that gets headed forward, as Nashville will try to get forward, but here comes Chicago now. And that pass gets deflected right back to Schwacke. as Reed Baker Whiting will have to play this one across. And now Nashville will control possession here as it looks to get forward. As it does find daylight. That's good defense right there. Chicago picks Surridge's back pocket. As it looks like this one gets out of bounds, so Chicago will have to throw in. As we are now in the 96th minute. As we are getting dangerously close to the end of this one. The ball comes in. As Nashville will try to get forward as humanly possible as they come away with the ball here. As they try to play this one forward, redirected. They come away with it. And I think there's going to be a whistle here. As it looks like Mukhtar hit the deck. So I think Nashville is going to get another free kick here. And absolutely, there was a penalty there. So this is going to do it right here as we are approaching the 97th minute. This looks like this will be the end for Nashville here. Here we go. There's the ball in. Headed forward, and there's Chris Brady. As that ball gets punched up, apparently. As Nashville does come away with this one again. As again, they'll try to play one in. All the way to the left. Plays one in. Comes down. There's a play to the back post. Headed down. Cleared. There's a shot. It'll be deflected. Another shot, and there's Chris Brady. And I think that's going to do it. And there's the final whistle. As Chicago will hold. As Chicago holds on for a 1-0 lead. Oh, well, excuse me, a 1-0 win. Getting the opening goal 17 seconds in. And hang on for 96 more minutes to pull the 3 points at home against Nashville in a game that I assumed that Nashville would just roll. That was not the case, and quite frankly, I'm a little bit disappointed in this one because quite understandably, you're looking at a Nashville team that has essentially started the season absolutely strong, scoring goals, and doing it in a manner that's quite effective. And you're coming in into Chicago against a team that struggles to score goals, that does give up goals themselves on the defensive side. And, listen, all credit to Chicago. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They buckled down and played very good defense. They took away Nashville's strength. Nashville was unable to set up in their attack. And quite frankly, they were left to try to figure out which flank they were going to attack down. Especially in that second half, they were completely one-dimensional, and they just were not able to get the ball at the foot of Heine Mukhtar, unable to get Sam Surridge open in the box, and they were essentially rendered useless. So from that standpoint, Chicago did a very good job. That being said, when you have a team that dominates possession, one of the things that you're looking for is, at least in some aspects, is to at least be brave, get shots on net, try to find a rebound. And that just wasn't the case, man. not only did Nashville not even test Chris Brady, but there was good stretches where they couldn't even string two passes together, and it was unfortunate to watch. And both teams were just coughing up the ball in the middle areas of the pitch, left and right. So there was no fluidity whatsoever. When Chicago did get forward, it was generally on the counterattack. And don't get me wrong, I mean, there was a couple opportunities in this match where Jonathan Bamba did find himself into space. But outside of the opening assist, he himself wasn't able to get any shots on net either. And so from that standpoint, this was, I got to be honest with you guys, it was kind of a garbage game. I got to be honest with you. There was no fluidity on either side of the ball, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and check the stats in this one. Nashville dominated the possession battle, 61-39%. XG, Nashville finished with a 0.70 XG to Chicago's 1.13. Total shots, 10-9 to Chicago. Shots on target, Nashville 4, Chicago 3. Both teams had two big chances apiece. Nashville missed both of their big chances. Chicago missed their one. Accurate passes, Nashville 473, Chicago 298. Fouls committed, 19 for Chicago, 13 for Nashville. Corners, they won that one. They won the corner battle 3-1. XG on set plays, Nashville 0.26 to Chicago 0.00. But really, it's the XG from open play where Chicago dominated, and Nashville just really couldn't do shit with their 61% possession. Total shots, 10-9. Shots inside the box, 6-4 for Nashville. Shots outside the box, 6-3 to Chicago. Total passes, 573 for Nashville, 374 for Chicago. Passes in the own half, Chicago 210 to Nashville's 188. Passes in the opposition half, 285 to 88 for Nashville. And when you control the ball that much in your opponent's half, there should be something to take away with all that possession on one side of the pitch. And again, Nashville literally could not break down Chicago's low block. It was excruciating to watch. Accurate long balls, 29-18 for Nashville. No team had any accurate crosses. Throws, Nashville with 31, Chicago with 17. Touches in the opposition box, 25-12 to Nashville. And again, not a lot of shots on net. Offsides, Nashville had 3, Chicago had 2. Yellow cards, 2-1 to Chicago. As we look at defense, Chicago did win the tackle battle, 16-14. Interceptions, Chicago 12, Nashville 9. Blocks, Nashville had 5 to Chicago's 1. And clearances, 35-6, Chicago. 35 clearances, and keeper saves, 4-2 went to Chicago. On the duel side, Nashville won the duel battle, 45-37. Ground duels, 38-33 goes to Nashville. Aerial duels, 7-4 to Nashville, and successful dribbles, 6-5. Let's take a look around Major League Soccer here. By the way, with a loss, Nashville still stays atop the Eastern Conference with 13 points, but Chicago moves back into 5th place with these 3 points, even on points with Toronto and the New York Red Bulls. Let's see. Speaking of which, let's take a look. As I mentioned earlier, Toronto did beat Colorado today 3-2 as Josh Sargent did get his first goal for Toronto. There were 3 red cards in this matchup as Colorado was playing 2 men down to Toronto's 1, but Toronto was able to come away with this one. A very good victory for Toronto today against Colorado. Real Salt Lake beat Sporting Kansas City 3-1. Diego Luna scored in that one for Real Salt Lake. Same thing with Gozo. He scored again. Joveljic scored for Sporting KC, but it was what it was. The Rev beat Montreal 3-0. the New York Red Bulls ended up holding on in this one 4-2 as Cincinnati also took a late red card. So that was a good win for the New York Red Bulls. Columbus beat Atlanta United 3-1. FC Dallas absolutely beat the doors off of DC United 4-0. And Peter Musa scored yet again for FC Dallas. St. Louis City equalized late as they drew 1-1 with NYCFC. Charlotte held on for a 2-1 victory as Wilfred Zaha scored late, and that one held up as Charlotte takes 3 points away from Philly. Austin and Inter Miami will finish 2-2 as Messi scored in the 10th minute and Luis Suarez scored in the 82nd minute. And it looks like Guillermo Piero scored in the 6th minute and Jaden Nelson scored in the 53rd minute. And Austin was actually leading that one for a good portion of that match before Luis Suarez equalized. So Miami was able to come away with something. The Sounders currently lead Houston 1-0 as Paul Rothrock has scored in the 83rd minute as this one's approaching the 90th minute as Seattle looks to take 3 points away from Houston Dynamo. And by the way, Seattle almost never wins in Houston, so this will actually be a rare 3 points for the Sounders. Right now in LA, LAFC is absolutely bodying Orlando City right now, 5-0, as David Berkelo had an own goal in the 7th minute. Dennis Bawanga has a hat trick in this one. He scored in the 20th, 23rd, and 28th minute. And Sergi Palencia scored in the 39th minute for LAFC as they have absolutely beaten the brakes off Orlando City. And not exactly surprising as Orlando, they're really not all that great. Only one win on the season, 5 losses. That is a team in absolute shambles. By the way, Philly themselves have lost all 6 to start the season. So Orlando City down in the basement of the Eastern Conference with Philly and Montreal, although Atlanta United's pretty goddamn close. So that's kind of interesting. But goddamn, man, this is that's the interesting part when you're picking matchups for the MLS live stream, right? You're looking for games that are gonna be somewhat exciting. And when I looked at this one coming into the weekend, I was like, this is actually looking like it's going to be an intriguing matchup, right? Yes, Chicago's at home. Generally speaking, home teams are what they are. Generally speaking, they have the advantage in Major League Soccer, but Nashville is Nashville, a team that I consider the best team right now in Major League Soccer, a team that I picked to win MLS Cup this year, and who knows, maybe that will happen. But, I was certainly expecting a little bit more considering, the way in which they play the game is not exactly my favorite. I'm not in favor of the Pep Guardiola, Luis Enrique style of football, where it's high possession, where you try to out possession your team in waves and work your ball deep and try to score goals that way. I'm a little bit more of the old school, direct style of play, quick passing, work the ball down as quick as you possibly can, get in dangerous areas and score your goals. But that being said, Nashville do play a style that suits them quite well. And, against a team like Chicago that on their day are pretty good. And today, I guess they understood the assignment at home, right? They got the early goal and they held on for dear life, and they were able to get the 3 points. But I expected something a lot different from Nashville. And it just didn't work out for them. As a matter of fact, I think they probably played their worst match of the season so far. And that's actually quite disappointing. But that being said, we will be back next week for the MLS live stream. And, hopefully we'll have a little bit better of a matchup. That being said, I think that's going to do it for me, guys. It's been fun. Again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming Stateside Footy content. I will be back tomorrow for another edition of USMNT Yanks Abroad as we recap the weekend that was for the U.S. men's national team pool players that apply their trade overseas. Granted, most of the club football was back, so it should be an interesting. Actually, that's going to be on Monday. Excuse me. It should be interesting to see exactly how everybody fared. But yeah, I'll say this, man. This channel is going to get interesting as we get down closer to the World Cup 2026. It's going to be like, we're going to have some interesting conversations. We're going to have some interesting guests as well too. As we break down what we think the roster will look like, what are going to be some of the more important decisions that have to be made for Mauricio Pochettino in regards to making sure that we actually have the best talent on the pitch come that first game. So definitely stay tuned for that. Until then, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope you guys have a wonderful Easter. Until then, I hope you guys have a good night. Take care, guys.
Rusted goalposts under fading skies.